Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the AI Learning Lab. My name's Kyle Shannon. Let's get this show on the road. I don't know what day it is. It's Tuesday, right? Tuesday? Tuesday. Not Tuesday. Tuesday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the AI Learning Lab, where we learn about labs. Doesn't seem right, does it? Some nice iced Java for the evening. But Kyle, won't that keep me up at night? I don't know, maybe. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Maybe I'll sleep like a little baby. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. A little bit about my backgrounds. Hello, Kevin. Earthling. Are you the alien? Are you the far out one? We're the Earthlings. Is that how it goes? I see. So welcome. On this here channel, we hang out, we have fun. I make jokes, I make funny voices, I make funny faces, but I'm starting with this, so you know. And we talk about AI. I'm a longtime entrepreneur. I've started 12 or 15 companies in my day. I was an entrepreneur in the early days of the World Wide Web. I started one of the first digital agencies, a company called agency.com, and I was chief creative officer there. And so I have been through one of these cycles before, and I didn't think I'd see another one in my lifetime because that one was pretty remarkable. The early days of the web, riding up to the .com bubble and the burst and all that happy horse shit. And then along comes this here generative AI stuff. I kind of had a false start with blockchain and NFTs where I'm like, this is going to be big. And it was funny. The deeper I dug into blockchain and NFTs, the less real it seemed. I like the tech, just the companies and the projects sucked. But the deeper I dig into this generative AI stuff, the more real it seems. So this is a big deal. It's transformative. So I'm happy to talk about it. So if you have questions about whatever, AI, pop them in the comments below. I do my best to answer everything. Let me show you what I got going on in this little window. All right, let's get that to focus, shall we? Can we? There we go. All right, grab a screenshot of this. So, if you're new to generative AI, if you haven't played with ChatGPT, these are your 7 options. This list used to be 3, and now it's 7. And that was a week ago, it was 3. And for like 2 months, there was 3 things on here. And now there's 7. Why? Because shit's happening. So, and I'll give you a quick rundown on these. So if you've been here before, you've heard this before, so you can, take a little nappy. All right, chat.openai.com. That's the official ChatGPT website. If you've not played with it, if you've not played with the original, the one, the only, the original ChatGPT, that's it right there. Go there and just start playing. Bing.com is also ChatGPT. It's GPT-4, but it's built into Microsoft's search engine, Bing. So you click on the chat button. That's GPT-4. You can generate images. It can analyze images or read them. Like you could upload a picture and have it write advertising copy for the picture, and it'll just do it. It's connected to the internet. ChatGPT has some pretty cool things if you pay for the Plus version, which I'm not connected with any of these. I don't make commissions on any of this shit, so don't get all cynical, you fucking trolls. All right. Claude.ai, the one on the other side there, I would say is the biggest competitor to ChatGPT right now. It's a bunch of ex-OpenAI employees that invented GPT-3, and it's got a 100,000 token context window, which basically means you can upload like 75,000 word documents, and it'll just read it, and then you can interact with it. Bard.com is Google's entry, which Bard was laughably bad for months and months and months, and then last week it got good. Turns out they replaced the core large language model with this thing called Gemini that's also multimodal. It can read images. Then labs.perplexity.ai, that's Meta's Llama 2 model that you can just play with at Perplexity. They just put it up there so everyone can go play. Pi.ai, they have a cool app that you can talk to. It's very conversational. Poe's got a lot of bots, and you can play with lots of these different models. So there's a lot here. They're all different flavors of the same thing. So if you don't know at all what you're doing, ignore all the shit on the bottom. Just go to the top one. If you want to start exploring the different flavors of these models and see what's good for certain things, that's your list. So screenshot that. Okay, now screenshot this too. Can we see everything? Yeah. So the thing at the top, prompts.chat, is just a document that'll teach you about prompting, how to talk to those large language models we just talked about. OpenArt.ai/prompt book, that's going to give you instructions for how to deal with Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, Adobe Firefly, Leonardo. This sort of teaches you about these text-to-image models, like how fucking powerful they are. Then you got Futurepedia.io. That's like 4,000 AI tools. If you just want to geek out, go there. And then these are the image tools. And then at the bottom left is Runway ML. That's video. And Blockade Labs. Skybox.Blockade Labs is just a fun parlor trick right now. You describe a scene and then you're in this 3D world. It's pretty slick. It's not super sophisticated, but it's slick, 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 slick. Slick, 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 slick. And then finally, this is, I'm going to get rid of this thing because I fixed the URL. So the Salon, the AI Salon, is a community that I started last December. That's a community of people on this AI adventure together. And so if you want to hang out with people there, just go to that thing. There's a link tree. We have meetups. We meet every other week. We've got a Discord server. We have a LinkedIn group. Storyvine.com, that's my current company, and that's my Twitter, my ex-Twitter handle, my current X handle. Oh, Elon. Isn't that funny? He goes, we're changing the company to X. It turns out Mark Zuckerberg has a bunch of trademarks on X because of the Xbox. Who knew? Well, apparently the trademark office. So, I guess that cage match match between those two, the stakes just went up. Which is pretty funny. All right. So hop your Auto GPT. It's dead? I don't think so. Isn't it just an open source project? Let's go see. Did it die? Did it die? I'll show you that thing too. Look at this cool video here. See that video? That started out as a panoramic photograph that I took. That's at Runway ML that I had down below there. But what are you saying? Auto GPT dead. Auto GPT dead? Question mark? I don't think so. No. I don't think so. I mean, maybe it is. If you know anything, post it in there. Auto GPT is one of those autonomous agents. I think those are going to be a big deal. All of those things, Auto GPT, Baby AGI, the initial things that came out were super promising, but it's also early. Like this stuff's, it's very early for this stuff. So, all right, let's get to the questions. Let's go to the videotape. I can't read with this shirt. I think I'm going to have to go change my shirt. So is AI a bubble certain to pop as well? No. Nope. When you have a piece of technology that produces easily 30 to 40% productivity increases overnight, that ain't going away. The fact that there's 7 competitors on this list right now, when a week ago there were ostensibly 3, means that this isn't going away. And there's a whole bunch of reasons for it. So Google invents this thing in 2017 called the Transformer, which allows companies to train machine learning models on massive data sets. OpenAI from the beginning said, why don't we train it on as much of the internet as we can get to? All of the public internet. Hey, the bear, what's happening? Thank you for the roses. Very sweet. I gotta go change my shirt. I can't read any shit on it. So they invent this thing called the transformer. And that was in 2017. So for the past, what are we in, 2023 now? 6 years? So for the past 5 years, they've been getting better and better and better at this. They did GPT-1, then they did GPT-2, then they did GPT-3. That one made some noise. And then right around the GPT-2 to GPT-3 time is when these companies like Stability AI and Midjourney start doing some of this image generation stuff. And that goes from like laughably bad to like, oh, that's pretty good, except the hands all look like this. And then now all of a sudden the hands kind of look okay. And now Midjourney images are photographic quality. In fact, what was it? Was it Vogue? I think it was Vogue just did their first AI-generated cover. Then, November 30th, 2022, a day that will go down in infamy, ChatGPT launches. Now, from a technical perspective, ChatGPT is just a very simple application layer sitting on top of this large language model down beneath. In fact, the instructions for how to create ChatGPT were in the documentation for GPT-3. In the documentation were instructions for how to create this thing, and no one created it. Sam Altman figured after a year and a half, someone would have built it. Nobody built it. So Microsoft's getting ready to make their announcement about their $1 billion investment into OpenAI, and Sam Altman says to his tech team, hey, could you just go whip up that ChatGPT thing? 2 weeks. They built it in 2 weeks because it's really simple. 2 weeks. Dos wikis. They launch it, and 6 weeks later they had 100 million users. That changed everything. They didn't expect it to have 100 million users. Microsoft didn't expect it to have 100 million users. Google certainly didn't expect it to have 100 million users. So, by adding a simple interface to deeply powerful technology, this thing's revealed into the world that just makes instant awareness of the tool and instant panic in all of the competitors to get their shit together. So Meta goes, we're not going to talk about the metaverse anymore. We got AI stuff. Look, here's some free shit. Go play with this. Google's like, we invented this stuff. We have all the AI. We're good. And then they released a bunch of shitty AI. And then last week, they pulled out the good stuff, right? So it took them 8 months to get it to a usable level. Claude.ai, they raised $450 million. Pi, this cute little, you can get an app that you talk to, that cute little chatbot Pi.ai, they just raised $1.3 billion to make a 22,000 GPU server intense thing. So that thing that looks really cute right now, that's going to have some fucking muscle behind it. Microsoft is rolling ChatGPT throughout their entire product line, from cloud services, Azure, to it's already in GitHub as Copilot. It's going to be called Copilot within Office 365, within Dynamics 365, within Windows. So GPT-4 is going to be built into Windows. So here's the deal. If you're a Windows person, I'm a Mac guy, but whatever. If you're a Windows person, you know how when you want to just like change from like a light setting to a dark setting, and then you like Google it, how do I change from a light setting to a dark setting on Windows? And they tell you, and then it was like 6 versions of Windows ago, and then like an hour later you're still trying to find the stupid fucking switch in the 837,000 dialog boxes. That's gone. You'll just go, change my settings to dark. It'll do it. Google's going to roll Bard across all of the Office, all the Google products. Google Docs, Google Excel, or Google Sheets, all of it. Go look at the YouTube video Barbenheimer. Someone did a mashup of Barbie and Oppenheimer. We played it last night. It's fucking hilarious. Just go watch that. All AI generated in the hands of really talented people, good storytellers. Thank you for the heart. So no, is AI overhyped? Yeah, I think it's overhyped. But is it a bubble that's going to go away? Like, are all of our jobs safe? No, they're not. They're not. These are the most powerful tools ever put in the hands of like normal civilians. It's funny, they're calling this moment the Oppenheimer moment for AI, because a lot of these guys have raised a lot of money, and the next generation of these tools are going to be powerful enough that they're equating it with like the importance of the bomb. But who had access to nuclear bombs? Everyone? No. Just a handful of people in the military. Who's got access to this? All of us. All of us. And it's not just sitting behind firewalls. The Llama 2 model that Meta just gave away, put out in open source with a commercial license, means that anyone can build anything they want with these things without all the safety guardrails that the other guys are talking to Congress about. The horse done escapeth the barn. So it's not going away. How quick is it coming? I think it's coming a fuck ton faster than any of us are prepared for. Here's the other thought I have on this is, I think long term, if I jump ahead 5 years, the amount of new jobs that these things are going to create are probably going to be insane. The amount of prosperity, let's just call it that, the amount of prosperity that large language models and sort of this flavor of technology is going to create is going to be absolutely insane. The path to get there, I think, is going to be really painful. There's going to be a lot of disruption. There's going to be a lot of jobs. There's going to be a lot of entire sectors that just go away. I mean, I'll tell you a big one. Customer service call centers, I think, have a very, very real possibility that they kind of disappear overnight. Because if go play with Pi. If you haven't played with Pi yet, if you have an iPhone, I mean, you can do it on the web, but it's not as slick an experience. Go to Pi on your iPhone and put it into voice mode and just start talking to it. And tell it to act like a customer service person for your refrigerator. Like, figure out your refrigerator make and model. And then just talk to Pi as if it were a customer service person, and just start having a conversation with it, just like you called an 800 number. So imagine a future, say 2 years from now, where when you call up Samsung about your shitty refrigerator door that fell off, like mine did 4 months ago. Like, my wife opened the door literally fell off onto the floor. It was like 1.5 years old. She was on the phone for hours on hold. Got transferred to people, this and that, and and that. It was a disaster, right? It's all day, every day. If you try to call someone, you can't. So imagine a future where you call Samsung, and they're like, "Hey, how can I help you? I got a problem with my thing." "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What do you want me to do?" Or like, describe the problem. And that's a synthesized voice just having a conversation with you. You weren't put on hold. That voice knows everything about Samsung, everything about it. It knows where its boundaries are, and its boundaries are way bigger than layer 1 customer support, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. You have to dial 4 different people before you get to the human being, and that's this excruciating 4-hour phone tree fucking nightmare. Press 1 to this. Let me put you on hold. Oh, did we cut you off? Sorry about that. Start again. What if all that went away? What happened? So, like, all of the companies that program those phone trees, press 1 for this, press 2 for that. Hasta habla español. All of those companies wiped. Now, can they pivot and do all sorts of this shit? Yeah, probably. But there's going to be massive disruption. So I think it's coming, and it's coming fast. We'll see. But I don't think it's a bubble. I think there's a possibility it's underhyped. All right, I got to go change my shirt. I can't read the text. I will be back. Much better. Much more better. Welcome, everybody. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. We are learning about AI. Well, I'm just pontificating right now. Let me get to some more questions. That list has gotten so long. I know, right, Jesse? That list is insane. And it's like at some point I'm gonna thin it out, but each thing has a different strength. Like ChatGPT has code interpreter. I wouldn't give that up. Claude.ai has got a 100,000 token window. I wouldn't give that up. Bing and Bard both do image recognition, and Bing's connected to the internet. So's Bard. Bard's actually doing really sophisticated web link injections into answers. And then Perplexity, that's the Llama model. Pi's really conversational. Poe, you can make the cool box. I feel like everything there has at least one feature that's worth exploring on them. So it's fucking nuts. And this was in a week. This happened in a week. I loves my GPT. Yeah, I still listen. GPT's gonna have a place in my heart. Oh, by the way, did you see Apple announced? I told you this was gonna happen. I told you they were being a little too quiet. Well, they're not quiet anymore. They've created a thing called Ajax, which is a AI development platform, and they've created what they're calling internally at Apple GPT. And they're going to come out swinging. Because what does Apple have? Apple has silicon that can run machine learning models. Go watch their Vision Pro demo. Notice that they didn't say the phrase AI once, but they use things like machine learning and embeddings and all the little catchphrases. They're running shit locally with their little R1 chip that's taking all that sensor data and machine learning the shit out of it in real time on the device. So Apple's going to be able to make a very strong privacy and security claim, and their shit's going to be good. So when their stuff comes out, and it's going to be on your data, I guarantee you that Apple's going to make this. I think the large language model stuff from Apple, the GPT stuff, is going to be, your own personal kick-ass robot assistant. Yeah, crazy. AI bores me. I'm old. Give me something easy that'll inspire me. Really, Steve? It bores you? I fear you have not dug or pushed. The harder you push on this stuff, the more impressive it is to me, but I'm curious what you've tried. And it's, quite frankly, it's easy. Actually, you know what might be fun, Steve? If you've got an iPhone, or even if you don't, just go to the website. Go to pi.ai or heypi.com. Go there. And then put it into voice mode so you can talk to it and start talking to it. And just talk for half an hour and ask it fucking anything. All right. By the way, pi.ai is also connected to the internet. Did you know that Midjourney has an interesting bug? It's probably got a lot of them, but tell me what the interesting bug is. A beautiful woman? Select an old photo, 40s, 50s, on the internet at random. All right, good place to develop prompt skills. I'll tell you a good thing. So go to prompts.chat. That will give you some good primers on prompting, and then it'll teach you about telling ChatGPT to be a certain persona. I want you to act like an architect or a screenwriter or a therapist or whatever it might be. And if you pay for ChatGPT Plus, if you do the $20 a month at chat.openai.com, you now have access to this thing called custom instructions. So you can take those personas and you can make your ChatGPT like understand who you are or how you want it to behave. So every chat that you do with it will start acting like that. So understanding that dynamic is an important thing. The other thing I would do is go to Poe.com, and if you go to Poe.com, you can create your own bot. And it's really simple. You just name it, pick a model. There's like 4 models available. You can just experiment with them. You make a description of the bot. You create a prompt. So I want you to act like Emily Dickinson, and whenever anyone asks you anything, I want you to write poems like Emily Dickinson or stories like Emily Dickinson. And then you just launch it. And it's out for the world to play with. You can tell people, go play with my bot. And if you get the prompts right on those bots, they're really gratifying. They're really cool. I did a Sling Blade bot, and he's pretty good. He's disturbing. I wish I had the hardware for Llama 65. I know, all these things. Here's the deal. There are so many developers, like the Llama models are the #1 trending project on Hugging Face right now, probably on GitHub too. The developer community is pouncing on that shit. So probably within the early versions in 3 months, probably something decently usable in 6 months. They'll have those things so fucking optimized, you'll be able to install it just on your phone. It's like, we're gonna be okay. The fact that this stuff's now open sourced and you have this many competitors, and this is minus Apple, and this is minus AWS, this is minus any other well-funded AI companies that might deserve to be on that list, but just haven't. They're still in stealth mode. So we're gonna have 10 to 12 major players doing these large language models, and so that just means these things are going to get better and better and better and better. So, but I'm right there with you. Like I want to be able to. I want to do the cool stuff too, but I can't afford a server farm with 20,000 GPUs in it. I'm a mind reader. What did I mind read you on? Like, where should you start? Was it that stuff? That's why this channel exists. I want people that come here to be like, I don't know what to do. All right, go do this. Just go do this. And then the next question they ask is, how can I make money with ChatGPT? You can make money with ChatGPT. You know how you make money with ChatGPT? You don't listen to those assholes. Copy image address and paste it in Midjourney with the word macro. All right, what does it do? If deal or deal one, deal A1, deal A1. Tell me what it does. I don't like if it explodes my Discord. I don't want to fuck up my Discord live. Just tell me what it does. Can you show the previous screen 1 sec? I didn't get a screenshot. Sure. So there's that one. Go ahead and screenshot that bad boy. These are all the ChatGPT variants. The top 3 things there are 2 educational resources and then just a big ass pile of tools. Those 3 things are image generation tools. And if you're sitting there being a smartass going, well, what about stable diffusion, man? Stable diffusion's cool. Well, that's what Leonardo is. Leonardo is a web interface in front of stable diffusion. The only reason I don't have stable diffusion there is it's kind of you have to be a decent geek to get it up and running these days. So Leonardo is just the easy front end in front of that. But I'm happy to talk about stable diffusion. And then Runway ML is the video tool that does amazing, cool stuff and getting better every day. And Blockade Labs is kind of cool too. And then that's the AI community that I created back in December. All right. That's really helpful. The text prompt info, good, absolutely, yeah. Here. Let me give you here's another thought on prompting because prompting is a really interesting thing. For one thing, the whole idea of prompt engineering. Everyone's like prompt engineering. You're gonna be a prompt engineer. It's all about prompt engineering. I don't think it's going to last that long. I think there will be prompt engineers, but I think that as these applications get more and more sophisticated, we as end users will have to do less and less sophisticated prompt crafting. Right now, because all these tools are so new and raw, we have to figure it out. We have to figure out how these things actually think and how they process, and it's how you talk to these things is not how you do a Google search, right? I talk about this on here a lot. When you do a Google search, over the past bunch of decades, search engines have taught us, make your prompts as concise as possible. Don't make them overly complicated or you'll just get a mess, right? So you figure out what are the minimal amount of words I need to get in here. These things are kind of the complete opposite. The more context you give them, the more you explain yourself, the more you say please and thank you, believe it or not, the more you sort of tell it, I want you to act like this kind of person, and then we're going to try to solve this kind of problem, and now I want you to, help me, walk me step by step through that process. They get really good. It's very counterintuitive. My experience working with ChatGPT and the like is more like I got an incredibly smart, simple-minded intern. It's an idiot savant. I have to explain everything to it. Oh, you don't know where I work. Right. We've only been working together for 6 months. You don't know where I work. Although the thing that ChatGPT just added fixes that. But still, you basically tell it everything and explain everything in kind of excruciating detail. And then when you do that, it fucking knows everything. It's been trained on all of the internet. All right, someone wants to pop up. Let's talk to someone. I think I'm going to lose my dual screen, but oh well, she went away. All right. Any certs you are aware of that could be helpful for someone looking for AI business integration? It depends the level of AI you're talking about. If you're talking about doing sort of ChatGPT integration and things like that, I can't imagine that there's a certification out there right now because this stuff's a little too new. It's possible. I know that Stanford has something, MIT has something, Facebook has something, Google has something. I don't know that those are really for integrations, though. But if you're on the integration side, there's enough geeks that have been working with AI for the past decade that you can likely find resources. So there's probably certifications about doing a lot of the infrastructure stuff. But if you want to do things like LangChain, some of the more recent projects that are still they're kind of flying the plane and building it at the same time. Like LangChain is this thing that's super powerful, but it's got all these piece parts and everything keeps changing, and they keep changing out the open source large language models, and you can put in different kinds of vector databases and shit like that. So I don't know. I wish I could be more help with that. No, I would. Of all of these, the place to maybe go ask that is Bard. Bard seems to be they seem to have integrated the Google search indexing into the answers at Google Bard really well, and it's connected to the internet. So Bard might be the place to go ask about certifications. The other thing, if you're a Microsoft shop or if you've got any kind of Microsoft infrastructure or not opposed to it, a lot of the developers I know are opposed to it. But if you're not opposed to it, they're probably the farthest ahead in terms of integrating ChatGPT into Azure, into all the cloud services. But it ain't like they just had their developer conference. It's not all rolled out yet. So this stuff's all very, very new. But Microsoft probably has some decent resources at this point because they've been working with OpenAI for what, a year and a half, something like that. Because it was a year before we knew anything about it. All right, let me get to some other questions. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Where do you work? I've been studying AI models and emerging properties. I'm a founder and CEO of Storyvine, which is not an AI company, although we are adding a lot of AI. I'm completely reimagining my product and my value proposition of my 11-year-old company. Thanks, AI. I'm more an entrepreneur, so I'm not. This channel, what my expertise is more on once you hit that inflection point where powerful tools like GPT 3.5 and 4 are accessible to the rest of us, that's when I like jumping into this stuff because I'm not technical enough to be in the game before that. But the minute this shit shows up, ready for prime time, which I think this stuff is now. I think ChatGPT is the inflection point. So November 30th of last year. So that's what this channel's about. So if you want someone more technical, the guy that I find the most impressive that does anything, remotely like what I'm doing education wise is David Shapiro on YouTube. The man's a fucking genius and he's got all sorts of open source projects doing all sorts of heading toward AGI in an open source way. And he's just fucking brilliant. He does like 3 or 4 major presentations a week on the implications of AI from a deep, deep, deep intellectual and technical point of view. The dude's a fucking machine. He's amazing. Can you recommend anything to help with trading in regards to AI? I can't really. What I would say is go to futurepedia.io. Go there and look for anything around trading. And then also, the other thing you can do is go to whatever your trading platform is, especially if they've got bots, if you can do trading bots and things like that. You can just copy the code from a trading bot on your platform, paste it into ChatGPT, especially GPT-4, and just tell it to explain to you what the bot is, what it does, and then tell it what you want it to do, and it'll rewrite it for you. So the other thing about ChatGPT Code Interpreter, you can upload up to 100 megabyte data file. So you could take, say, historical trading data, upload that into Code Interpreter, and have it start doing data analysis for you. So there's all sorts of things you can do just out of the box with some of these things that are fucking insane. I don't know that world at all, so I don't know the specific tools. So that's why futurepedia.io there might be some people that are doing some really sexy stuff. I just don't know about it. You can ask GPT to rate your prompt. Oh, and it will suggest improvements as well. Yeah, that's actually a good hack. You write a prompt. You ask ChatGPT if there's a better way to write it. You can also, when it answers you, have it analyze its own answers. Say, review your answer and tell me how you might improve it, and it'll do that. And then you can tell it to improve it, and then it will. What did I do today that was really frustrating? I was having it try to rewrite, and this was with Claude. It wasn't with GPT-4 to be fair. I was having it rewrite a document that I wrote, and it just kept truncating, like all the paragraphs. It would sort of knock them down to 2 sentences instead of 4 or 5, and then it would just omit certain paragraphs. It was weird. I had a frustrating day today with ChatGPT or Claude, whatever it was I was playing with. Most days are revelatory and fun, but today, not so much. Not so much. I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it. Adam McKnight coming in strong with the memes. We like the memes. That was the bot website. What was the bot website? Agreed. Thanks. Can you recommend anything to help with trading? I already answered that. No, I can't. What was the bot site? Poe.com. Poe.com has cool bots. Ba-da-ba-bum. All right, so you go to Poe, and you got 6 different ChatGPT models, and then you just have a shit ton of bots. You have this explore button, which if you click it, it just takes you over to all these bots. And basically all these are like pre-prompted GPT things. I don't know why this isn't focusing. Did it focus? No. Well, whatever. Like there's a Mid-Journey bot. There's a ghost bot. There's an emoji bot that only answers in emojis. There's cooking bots. And then you can make a bot. Create a bot. And then you just name it, give it a description, give it a prompt, give it a welcome message, publish. Bang. And then don't be a doo-doo head and not have a picture. Go to Mid-Journey and make a picture for it. Like I did yesterday, I did Christopher Walken bot. I've done, what bots have I done? Shakespeare, I am Shakespeare. So if you go to poe.com/I am Shakespeare, I did Jay-Z. That's a good one. Yoda, Sling Blade, Emily Dickinson, Steve Jobs. I am Steve Jobs. That's a fun one. I am Mary Shelley. I am Virginia Woolf. Or not, I'm just Virginia Woolf. I am Poe. So, yeah, that's Poe. That's Poe. Paid Discord. I don't know what you mean. The image, wait, it merges pictures of humans with bugs in a very interesting way. Oh, Mid-Journey does if you put an old 40s or 50s photo in it? That doesn't surprise me. But that's kind of cool. Huh. Is that a bug? Are people considering that a bug? Interesting. Interesting. Teresa Aqua Blue. Hi, everyone. Hello, Teresa. I got SD running. I'm a geek. Yeah, listen, Stable Diffusion's awesome. So if you want to do this image stuff and you want to geek out on it, I talk about Leonardo.ai is the web version of Stable Diffusion. If you've got the stomach for getting a Google Colab up and running and getting automatic 1111 up and running and the code stuff doesn't scare you off. Like it took me, I failed 9 times trying to get Stable Diffusion up and running. I finally got it running and I got Dream Booth working and, it felt like fucking victory. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, fucking yeah. After 9 fucking failures. But that's just the stage of the industry we're in right now, where the tools are really powerful. The nice thing about Stable Diffusion is the developer community is building new shit for it all the time, which is also the downside of it, right? Because you get your automatic 1111 up and running, and then they change the notebook on you, and then it doesn't work anymore because they swapped out a library and this and that. And now it's using a different model, and you just constantly have to stay on top of it. So if you don't want to do that, that's what these tools are. Like Leonardo, that's just a company that's sticking the front end. They're taking care of all that back end shit for you. And that's what you pay for, right? You pay a service for them to solve your fucking headache of having to install it yourself. That's how business works. Yeah, but Stable Diffusion is quite amazing. Do you think Leonardo's are in the works for Llama 2? Well, that's what labs.perplexity.ai, that's Llama 2. You can play with the 7, the 13, and the 70 billion parameter version of Llama 2 right there for free right now. Go play. Now, you can't install it and do all the training and shit like that. Do I think there will be a Leonardo kind of front end for those things? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think probably in a short amount of time, I feel like the next phase of these is going to be the train it on your personal data phase, right? Where right now it's all just like they're either quasi or not at all secure. They're jankier than fuck. They're like really thin application layers. So I think what's going to happen is this: you're going to have you've already got the LangChain community out there doing. You can embed your own data into LangChain, and there's projects that are putting front ends in front of LangChain. You've got GPT for All, which allows you to play with different open source models. It's just a double click install. You're going to see Apple, Microsoft, and Google all come out with versions of these things that are now connected to your data. So like Google just say, just point your Google Drive, point this shit at your Google Drive, and you can now start interacting with your data. Microsoft's going to do the same thing. Apple's going to do the same thing. And then the open source community is going to fucking pile on, right? Because the foundations for it are being built right now. So I think 6 months from now, these things are going to look and act very, very different than they do now. They're going to be much more in the neighborhood of a personal assistant, or it's just going to be much more useful. Like, I know somewhere in the past decade, I sent an email to someone talking about this specific thing, and I can't find it in Google. And you'll just be able to go find it now. Because it's in your shit, and they've got it in the fucking magic machine. They've embedded it. Once it's embedded, magic shit happens, right? All right. Da-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Miss Birch, he takes a little while to go through the questions. my regulars are apologizing for me. Thank you very much. I am slow with them, but I do try to answer them all. Rachel, awesome. Jex Strickland, it will be tremendous improvement when they can tell you when not to trust their answers. Yeah. So if you're new to this stuff, that's an important point that I forgot to make earlier. These things do what's called hallucinating, which is the geeks came up with a clever word to not make it sound like such a fucking disaster that it actually is. They just fucking outright lie. These things will just tell you stuff confidently, even if it's wrong. I like to describe it as mansplaining as a service. Like all the good men in your life, it'll confidently tell you something, even if they've their head up their ass. And it's the nature of how these things actually work. They are as aware of what they say to you as a calculator is of the answers it's giving you. It's not aware. It's a calculator that's doing some formula, in its circuitry, and it pops up an answer. That's all these things are doing from a technical perspective. It's literally predicting the next word in a sequence of words based on your prompt. So when it writes you a whole page of stuff that looks like, holy crap, that's brilliant, it knows all this stuff, it's not actually aware of what it just created. I think the next evolution of these, there will be a layer there where it actually looks at what it wrote and says, is this bullshit? If bullshit, go back to the starting. Start over. They're going to get better, right? I'm looking at how Bard is incorporating search results into its results, and how Bing is doing that. They're starting to do some citations and things like that. Link to websites. So we're probably not that far off from that, but yeah, I am right there with you that it will be a tremendous improvement where you can actually trust these things, especially when you start to get into like Google just came out with was it Google? Yeah, yes. They just announced MedPalm, which is a medical large language model, right? It's one of these. It's like ChatGPT, but trained up on all the medical shit. Well, we don't want the medical shit hallucinating and telling us to take 640 Advil to make the headache go away. That would be bad. I am not a doctor, but I know that wouldn't be good. Where are you answering from? I am, well, Patrick Cutaway, you're way down there. I'm way up here. All right. So did you ever see Star Wars, the original one, the four, 5, 6 ones, like the good ones? Yeah, that was when I was a kid. You know, at the beginning of that, where you had words down here, and then there was the big long line of words, and then way off in the distance, I'm answering questions up here. You're down here. All right. Do we have mods? As in mods for the TikTok? No. As in modifications for these? Dr. J, I don't know what you're talking about. Dr. J, no mods. Oh, yeah, like mods. Like someone in here actually, like, oh, is the question, is the AI Learning Lab a professional organization? No. And if one of you down below there said, what are your qualifications, boy? I ain't got none. Ain't got none. Other than the fact that I'm geeking out on this shit every fucking day of my life for the past 9 months. Actually, it's more like a year and a half now. Old black and white photographs contain different information than the command macro in Midjourney. Oh, that's interesting. All right, I'm going to have to look that up. I want to write that down. Old black and white photographs in Midjourney. That's kind of cool. I like it. I wonder, do you think I wonder if there's something about the 50s images that it's somehow like doing references to like old 50s sci-fi, because you said it was people and insects being mixed. I wonder if there's something about black and white old sci-fi stills and things like that that are mixing in there. He is Colorado. I'm in Colorado. Yes, I'm in Denver, Colorado. Welcome to Denver. It's at the base of the Rocky Mountains. Did AI begin with quantum computing? No, AI began with, I don't know, back in 1956. The term AI was coined. 1957. I just did a spreadsheet on this. Do I have it on this machine? No, don't. Damn. That's on my work machine. I just did some research on this. Now, it started with these things called neural nets, right? So basically, starting 70s or 80s, they started trying to replicate the structure of neurons in our brain. And the basic idea has been, if we can get computers to act like the synapses and like the neurons in our brain, we might be able to get them to do cool stuff. And they were making, nominal progress, and, they were doing things like, expert systems like IBM's Big Blue that beat Garry Kasparov at chess because they just trained it, on that really specific narrow data set. And then it was the transformer architecture that Google came up with in 2017. That is what burst the dam open for all of what we're doing now. So the embeddings and vector databases, just how it does what it does. Like, it takes the mass of everything it learned and it turns it into these funky mathematical word pairings that are sort of connect a word to its meaning, but just in math. And so when you type in your prompt, it, magically reconstructs something out of nothing. It's quite remarkable what it does. But quantum computing, as I understand it, I don't know a ton about it. It's a different kind of mathematics that it does. So you can't just use a quantum computer like you use a regular computer. So you couldn't necessarily just do AI machine learning training kind of stuff with a quantum computer. But at some point, someone will figure that shit out. Google just released the results of their new quantum computer, Sycamore, which has 70 qubits in it, which, if you follow the world of quantum computing, every qubit is a quantum increase in power. So 70, you're getting up there. And it performed a mathematical equation in 6 seconds that would take today's most powerful supercomputer 47 years. So that's what's going on in the quantum computing world. Right now, I don't think it's too connected to this AI stuff, but I could be wrong. I did a video on the Sycamore thing, and then a bunch of people in there go, listen, you fucking tool. It's not the same kind of mathematics. You can't just use quantum computers on your stupid little ChatGPT fucking tool, you fucking loser. So I took that as constructive criticism. And I learned that I'm an idiot. But still, it's doing something in 6 seconds that would take the fastest computer 47 years. That's kind of cool. You know that shit's going to get in here somehow. All right. No, like he can even see this chat. Yeah, I can see this chat, Patrick Cutaway. You bitter, bitter man. Does Patrick need a hug? Do you need a hug? Do you need a hug? I really am reading all the questions. I really am live. The bear can vouch for me. Thank you, the bear. I appreciate that. And by the way, if you have not seen the TV show The Bear, shame on you. We talk about comedy in this channel. We talk about good TV shows. The Bear is remarkable. Remarkable, remarkable, remarkable. The race is on with all of them. Who to predict who the overall winner when the dust settles? I don't fucking know. I know it'll be 3 of them. It's always 3, right? These things always settle down to 3. Which AI can produce a PowerPoint presentation? The one that I know is Tome, T-O-M-E. I think it's tome.ai. Hang on. And they've added a bunch of new features now. Tome.app. Go to tome.app. Yeah, tome.app. And then it'll just, you can just say, I'll say create. Here, watch. Create a presentation about what's the presentation about? Where do I put it? Here we go. My business to wash wild raccoons. So I'm starting a new business to wash wild raccoons, as you do. So it's generating an outline. It's called Raccoon Suds, the wild business of washing. And then it creates you an outline. Oh, and if you're happy with that, I guess you can go in and edit these now. Oh, that's pretty slick. So introduction, the problem, the solution, the market, the marketing strategy, the conclusion. You say continue. And now it makes you a presentation. So it writes them and it does the images. So we should get some raccoon images because there's lots of raccoon base art. Cute. There you go. We did it. Now, are these presentations any good? I don't know. Probably not. All of these tools right now are 100 times more powerful than anything you've played with and radically flawed. So if you do it right, you should have a Kevin McAllister moment, right? From Home Alone. This moment, I didn't know it could do that. And then as you start to use it for real stuff, you realize, oh, it's got these limitations and those limitations and those limitations. But what I would say is that I would be very reticent if I were you to not dismiss these tools because they're not perfect, because they're as bad as they're ever going to be. They only get better from here. And what they do is absolutely fucking miraculous. Like, we're lucky to be able to play with this stuff. He can see the chat. He's just not caught up. Thank you, Stephanie. I've got my defenders here. He really does answer the questions. He really is live. He cares about us. He does. Good evening, Mr. Shannon. Good evening. All right. TikTok just jumped me to the bottom again. My regular viewers know that I hate that because I lose my place, and I like to answer all the questions. Contrary to popular belief, if you know what I mean. Where's he answering these from? I don't think he's answering these. Maybe he's an AI. You think he's an AI? I heard he's ChatGPT. Are you ChatGPT? Yeah. I did. What did I do? I did a TikTok for April Fool's Day, right? Where I had ChatGPT come up with three other words than generative pre-trained transformer that meant that GPT was actually just really like a big call center full of people on computers feverishly typing out the answers. A couple of people got it. Other people was like, I don't think that's really happening, man. People are just wound too fucking tight on the internet. People gotta lighten up. Gotta lighten up and fly right. All right. Let's Hair G reached level something. Thanks, Hair Growth Geek. I don't know. You reached some sort of level. Congratulations. I love this shit. Lol, you're very entertaining and knowledgeable. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. Kyle is the sheer. Sheer? Sure? Oh, shit. I'm like, man, these kids these days, they got all these words that mean something. I don't know. I'm the shit. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Birch. ChatGPT got dumber once they connected to the government. We get the bad AI now. Oh, GBT 654321. You got some work to do on the name, but just go download fucking Llama 2. It's open source and commercially usable. Don't be so bitter. It's not all a conspiracy. Here's the deal with all those conspiracy theories. They all sort of require that the government is competent at doing conspiracies. The government's got their head so far up their ass that, hey, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. They don't know what fucking Wi-Fi is. Yeah, whatever. It's probably more Microsoft than the government, by the way, putting the shackles on ChatGPT. But now you have Claude. Now you have Bard. Now you have that. Now you have Pi. I mean, you've got options. The whole open source community is there for you. So, like, your comment, I don't mean to pick on you, but your comment is, it's really easy to demonize and dismiss this shit. And I think that does us all a disservice. Because if you really take your time and learn this shit, learn what it's good at, learn what it's not good at, learn where the boundaries are, learn if indeed it is getting better or worse, and then you decide that stuff, cool. But if you're just sitting on the sidelines going, oh, it's a big government conspiracy, no, that doesn't serve any of us. Because the more of us that use this stuff for good are going to lean the direction of where this heads in the future toward the good. If we sit on the sidelines and let these motherfuckers just, make all the rules up, then we are going to be at the mercy of it. So let's not do that. And we might as well have fun with it. Like, it's the most remarkable fucking technology in the history of humanity. We get to play with it. There's like fucking 7 of them now that we can play for effectively for free. Almost all of these are free. Midjourney's $10 a month. You can make world-class images for $10 a month. Like full-on photographs, full-on illustrations. You know what I mean? So don't shit on this stuff until you've actually used it. And listen, if you've been using it for 20 years and You got some information, then fucking share the information. If they hobbled ChatGPT and you know it in a specific way, cool. But, in its honest to God, if we shut everything down, from ChatGPT down, if we shut everything down, and I just went with ChatGPT 3.5, I feel like I personally could spend the next decade trying to figure out all the different ways I could exploit it. And GPT-4 is insanely better. So even if GPT-4 goes from like whatever it's at right now, 92, and it drops to 85, it's still 100 times more powerful than any the fuck else thing I'm using. So, what do I think about BGSM? I don't know BGSM. What is BGSM? Biosig Technologies? I don't know anything about it. They doing some sort of crazy ass brain shit? Some drug shit? Biosig Technologies. I don't know enough about it. Certainly if you're asking for investment, I don't know. Why did SoundDraw come up? Was that SoundDraw? Is that part of that company? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Sorry about that. I keep breaking GPT. Doesn't finish generating about 75% of my input. Yeah, that's an issue. So I would say go start playing with Claude. So Claude has a context window of 100,000 tokens. So it's got a much longer memory per chat session, and it can also generate long responses better. So try Claude. It's worth playing with Bard. Honestly, right now, there's so much so new on this list that what I would do if I were anyone here that's really exploring these things, if you're using it enough that you're getting ChatGPT to break, I would start exploring different tools and see which ones are better, right? I think Bing is really, really hobbled, and there's like a handful of things I use Bing for, but for the most part I don't because it's just so hobbled. Claude is really impressive. I would say right now I'm kind of 50-50 between using ChatGPT and Code Interpreter and then Claude just for day-to-day use. But I'm impressed with Bard and how it's incorporating index links into organically into search results without it being spammy SEO bullshit. I'm actually impressed with that. The Llama models are raw and new, so you can go play with those. Pi is very, very conversational. But my instinct is if you're having truncation issues, try Claude. What was the bot site? That was po.com. Is access to Discord a paid subscription? I don't think so. I don't think it is, but the ability to generate more than like the 20 initial test images in Midjourney is a paid subscription. You can pay for Discord subscription to get some of the features, but I don't think you need it. I think I do pay for it though, but not because I did it. I started paying for it back when I was doing blockchain and NFT shit, and I just haven't canceled my subscription. Man, Stable Diffusion is awesome. There's so much stuff going on. I know, Bill. So if you have the stomach for doing the geeky stuff to get into the Stable Diffusion community, like there is so much development going on there, and if you can keep up with it, but it's a lot, and it's good. It's good. If you just want kick-ass images, use Midjourney. If you want flexibility and to keep up with the latest and greatest, go with Stable Diffusion. If you want to do things commercially, go with Adobe Firefly and Generative Fill within Photoshop because it's trained on a safe model. Sorry. Leonardo has voluptuous young women bias. I know. Kind of disturbing how it was probably trained. Well, it might be how it's trained. It might be just that a lot of the people using it right now are using all of the sort of anime models, anything that was sort of done on anime just skews way toward, tits and ass. And yeah, it's annoying. The thing about Leonardo though is you can train your own models, right? So you can upload a set of photographs or images that you like, train your own models, and then start working within that. So there's good flexibility there. But yeah, if you look at the initial feed when you land on Leonardo, it's just like a bad anime convention. So good God, kids, come out of the basement. Really? Come on, make a velociraptor or something. I mean, All right. The bug is that it creates bugs or plants and merges it with the photos. We'll do it on any photo. I got to try that. That's fascinating. Let's go try it now. If you're still here, if deal image. So let's go do that. Let's see. 50s photograph. I don't know. What are those called? Diner. Oh no, I don't want the actual diner. No. 50s people pictures. There we go. That's British life in the 50s. Grab this one. All right, so I don't quite know how to do this because I'm not talking to you, but 50s. So I'm going to save it there. We're going to hop on over to Discord. Crap. Guess the 50s. Desktop. Why is it not showing up? Oh, there we go. Okay. So we're going to pop that in there. I'm going to upload it. I suppose I could have just grabbed that URL, but I know this works. So I'm going to copy the link. I got to add a text prompt. Okay. /imagine. Paste. Let's see. Dressing room beauty. All right, I'm gonna let that go. Is it doing? Yeah, it's waiting to start. All right, I'll be right back. All right. What did it do? Did it make any weird insects? I don't think it did. I don't know. It didn't do it. All right. I'm back. Sorry about that. If you want to use stick to version 1.5, is that in Midjourney? Weird. Well, I'll look it up. That sounds like a really interesting bug. Interesting bugs are cool. Like, why does it do that? You know? All right. I CMP'd the description of a character from a novel into Midjourney, and it came back with a weird alien. Yeah, I mean, so if you understand how the diffusion models work, the trick is in getting your prompt right. If it's too many words, if it's not enough words, if you're basically leaving the latent space too big and broad, it kind of does these averages of all these noised images and then denoises them, and so you'll get some weird shit. It's just the nature of the beast right now. I mean, it's part of the joy of it also, right? Like, you know, creating shit like, you know, like these images that I did in Stable Diffusion with Dream Booth. I mean, those are super cool. You know, and that was just kind of a, you know, experiment. I'd probably done, I don't know, 2,500 or 3,000 images. And then I finally got one that I was like, holy shit, that's fucking art, you know? And like, that's the kind of art I would create if I had the talent. So, but it's the nature of the beast. Like I said, these tools are remarkably powerful and remarkably flawed right now. It's just, we're just very, very early. So just know that they're as bad as they're ever going to be. Know that. Have you noticed there's a lot less hands like this than there used to be? Why? Because they're fixing that shit. You're not slow. You're just thorough in your elaborated answers. Thank you, Cocoa Beans. Oh, 9.5 on the name. Spelled cleverly, parsable, and funny. So 9.5 out of 10 on the name, Cocoa Beans. I like it. Can these platforms help someone find a new job? The platforms can't help you find a new job, but I think that they can certainly help in the process. So, for example, take your resume and maybe your LinkedIn history. Like, you can download your LinkedIn history. You can just copy and paste chunks of it into a document. And then with something like Claude, you could just upload resume 1, resume 2, LinkedIn profile. I think you can do up to 5 documents. And then paste in a job description and tell it you want it to use Markdown so that it looks pretty. Markdown is the thing that'll format it. I can show you how to do that. Tell it to rewrite your resume, you know, based on today's best resume writing practices, you know, focusing on the jobs and experiences for that job that you put in there as a description, and then have it write you a personalized cover letter to that hiring manager. So you could do stuff like that, right? You could do stuff like, I'm working with a guy right now who's building a tool for salespeople to be able to take their LinkedIn profile and create a custom persona for them so that the salespeople know how to talk to them, what to talk about, what they value, all that sort of stuff, just based on their LinkedIn profile. So you can do the same thing with hiring managers, right? Or job descriptions. With things like Bard that's connected to the internet or Bing that's connected to the internet, you can potentially find jobs that you might not have otherwise found. So that's on the job seeking side. If you're getting AI literate, if you're getting up to speed on these tools, start talking about it. Start posting on LinkedIn. Start posting to your Facebook groups. Start talking about it at dinner parties or wherever with your friends. Even if you're like, well, my friends think AI is stupid and I don't want to look like an idiot. Look like an idiot. Start talking about it. Because what's going to happen is at one point, one of your friends is going to say, oh, they're looking for someone who knows something about AI at my job. You talk about that ChatGPT thing. Are you good at this? Yeah. Join groups that are exploring this stuff. Get good at it. It's going to be in demand. Like the next 2 years, there's going to be a lot of demand for people that have even a semblance of a clue of how to use this. And you don't need to be technical. This is part of the shift right now. If you want to build applications that leverage this, yeah, you got to be geeky and you might need to do a little development. But if you're a project manager, you can use these tools to amplify your project management skills. If you're a writer, holy shit. These are like ability amplifiers. You take your ability, you put it into these machines, bang. 10, 20, 30 times the output. Like that. Boom. Now, is it perfect output? No. But it gets you to 80% in like 5 minutes. And if you're anything like me, getting to 80% is somewhere between 2 hours and 2 weeks, depending on how my ADD's functioning that day. And now I can go to these tools and I can go brain fart, bang, 80%. Like that. So get good at that shit and start talking about it. And here's another thing to do. Especially if you're unemployed, if you've got time, put a lot of time into the searching, but start volunteering. If you know someone who's struggling to get, traffic into their small business, or you know someone who's trying to write the great American novel, or you know someone who, I don't know, is just trying to figure out how to garden better, volunteer to help them solve whatever the problem is and tell them that you're going to use these tools to do it. Would you mind if I help you write a marketing plan for your business? Sure. Like, I'm fucking desperate at this point. No one comes to the shop anymore. Okay. Give me an hour. Tell me all about your business and what's going on and what your problems are. And then just over the weekend, go use these tools, come up with some fucking genius ass marketing plan, because this will help. They'll do it. And then, that does a couple of things. It helps someone else. It educates them that these robots are not out to get us. These are tools we get to use. We get to choose how we use these. And, it just might help their business. So I think these platforms can help you find a job, but it's not about the platforms. It's about what are you trying to accomplish, and then using these platforms to try to accomplish it. Not looking forward to storage payments for personal AI data. That's actually a really interesting dilemma, because it's like I'm already a data hoarder, and like the thought of getting rid of my prompt history is like, no, there's probably something good in there, and like most of it's just crap, and almost all of it I could recreate like that. But I totally get it. We're moving into this world of infinite content generation, and we're going to be able to. Like the amount of images I generated for the art project that I did at the beginning of the year was just massive amounts of images. And yeah, do I want to throw them out? No. Do I really have the storage? Like, no. All of my computers are all fucking maxed out, and all my iCloud accounts and Google Drive accounts are all maxed out because I keep dumping shit on them and not cleaning it out. Now, maybe AI helps us clean that shit up, right? There's a business. The digital hoarder friendly file cleaning service powered by AI. There's something to go build. It's been a day or two since I've given $1 billion business away for free. There's one. Are you a digital hoarder? Do you have stacks of hard drives you're never going to hook up to your computer again, but you refuse to throw them out? Thanks, Silver Fox. You too can use hoarder-friendly file trasher machine AI dot app. 3 checkboxes and squit. You've got all your hard drive space back. That would be nice. It's a really interesting point. But it's drawing pictures based on your energy portrait. Oh, if deal. I do not. No, it's not. It's not. I can actually, if you want, I can show you how diffusion models make their images. I'm happy to. I've got a slide where I talk about how it works. I wish it were on our energy fields. It's not quite that fantastical. Isn't there some UFO disclosure thing tomorrow in the government? How many musicians do you think are using this secretly? Probably a lot. I mean, if for nothing else, just knocking out some beats, probably a lot. And listen, to be clear, like Photoshop's had AI tools in it for a while now. A lot of Logic and all those tools, they've had all sorts of AI filters and things in it. This AI shit isn't new, right? What's new is the generative AI stuff built, sort of on the technology sitting behind these large language models, the text to anything sort of magic maker machines. That's all kind of new, but that's all going to get incorporated into those platforms if it hasn't been already. If you're interested, Pablo, there's a guy named Ethan Mollick, and he's a Wharton Business School professor, and he's got a good newsletter. He writes amazing articles for his newsletter, and he wrote about a month ago an article called "Detecting the Secret Cyborgs," and what the piece actually is that these AI tools are incredibly powerful personal productivity tools that are not really ready for prime time in business. So you have businesses not really sure if they can use them, right? They haven't made a decision on data policies, privacy policies, usage policies. And then you have the individual workers who are using these tools to get way more efficient and not telling their companies about it. So they're the secret cyborgs. So what he's talking about is you've got an increasing sort of split in class of AI literate people and then organizations that are not dealing with it and don't even know. And what he's saying is that, as owners of organizations, you should be aggressively going after your people to say, it's okay to use these tools. We want you to use them. We want you to tell us what you're doing. But these people are like, hey, I can knock out in 4 hours what used to take me all week. So I'm just going to keep secretly using these until you bust me. So I have a feeling it's like that in every industry, including music, including art, including, if I were working at a big ad agency right now and I had my project manager, my account team breathing down my ass to generate more shit in less time, like they do, I'll fucking use it. Prove that I didn't. If I'm a copywriter, am I knocking out shit fast? Yeah, because that's that business. It ain't art. It's advertising. And if I'm a copywriter with skills, I can have this knock out stuff quickly, and then I can curate the best stuff out of that and then do a little tweak here and there. And I can knock out in an hour what normally would have taken me all day or 2 or 3 days. And I might not tell anyone about that. So yeah, I think there's a lot of secret cyborgs out there using their fancy second brain. Evening, Mr. Shannon. Getting in a little late. Hello, Troy Decker. What's happening? So long, Serenoid. Soon AI will be the chat moderator. That would be nice. Yeah, I guess I do need a moderator in here, don't I? It would suck less, but I don't know how to do that. So anyone wants to moderate, let me know. All right, there are a couple of gatekeepers, but no mods. Vicky, it's insects that are giant, 10 feet tall. That's got to be coming from the insect bug. If that's indeed a bug, if you're just trolling me, that's fine too. It's probably from 50 sci-fi movies, is my guess. Updating my Wix website today. Excited to find AI copy creator now built into its text editor. Yeah, Lauren, I found it's in they put it into like into LinkedIn posts. Like if you just go into the post, it's like have AI help you. But like the have AI help you button is so big that I sometimes accidentally click on it and it takes me into this whole AI writing interface. I'm like, no, I just got like 4 words I want to type. I don't need AI for that. Yeah, we're going to start seeing it everywhere. It's going to start cropping up everywhere. And it's going to be weird. It's just, I think we all have to give grace right now because these tools are really powerful, really exciting. Every company on the planet right now is in a panic to not be left behind. Any technology company, anyone with software. And so they're all just jamming shit in there. And so there's just going to be a lot of bad interface, a lot of bad features. And then there's going to be some remarkable ones. So I think we're just going to have to be patient for the next year or two while these companies just sort of panic develop. Black and white photo macro command in Midjourney. Black and white photo macro command. Oh, okay. Let's try that again. Let's go over to Midjourney. We'll give it a shot. We'll go /imagine. Put that in. Black and white macro photo. Let's try that. Let's see if we get some insects. Oh yeah. Hey, Kool-Aid. Oh yeah. Gen Xers? Any Gen Xers? Kool-Aid? Have you seen the Bert Kreischer thing where Tom Segura on Two Bears, One Cave, where Tom Segura discovers he drinks a 64-ounce Kool-Aid every morning? That's one of the best episodes. This is weird. It looks like it gave me nothing. It's just black right now. Oh, it's at 0%. But normally there's like a little blurb of something in there. That's weird. Quantum machine learning is already a thing. Oh, cool. That's cool, Seb. You can make money with quantum computing. No insects. No insects, buddy. Sorry. I don't know if I did something wrong. It looks like a woman's crawling out of a mirror, but there's no insects. Here we come to save the day. That's funny. That's funny, honey. All right. I don't know. I haven't discovered the bug. What's up, buddy? Hey, Steve-O, shaking. Which to use to find a new job? I don't know. I would go to ChatGPT plugins, and there are probably job board plugins in ChatGPT in plugins. Or Bing. Or Bard. I think Bard's probably Bard or Bing. Both of those are connected to the internet. So they might be able to find jobs. What is this again? I don't know what I was showing. Oh, it just jumped me to the bottom. Dang you, TikTok. I don't know why he acts like that. He gets very upset when TikTok jumps him to the bottom. It's very silly. He's a silly goose. I don't know why he's so upset. Just answer the questions. You know what I mean? Quantum quantum machine learning is already a thing. That's super cool. And if it's going to learn that fast, then holy shit, we might have real-time updates to all of our information. That one we already answered. What is this again? That we already answered. Okay. Skynet is still just a toddler. That's exactly right. Skynet's a piece of spit and duct tape right now. Skynet's got to get its shit together if it's ever going to kill us. It's got to figure out how to add consistently and not just fucking blatantly lie. All right. Any suggestions on pixelization, removement on videos with AI tools? No, I mean, there's all sorts of good upscalers for the image tools right now. Like Stable Diffusion's got good upscalers, and there's what's that one called? I can't ever fucking remember the name of it. I don't know. There's one you can buy for like $90 that does pretty good upscaling. The video stuff right now is where the image stuff was like a year and a half ago, where it's just like the video stuff's, while it's impressive, it like even the new Runway ML image to video thing that's really impressive. It starts out with a photo. You'll notice that the resolution and detail of the photo drops off dramatically when it starts making the video. Are you a hallucination? In my mind, I am. Call center, funny. I mean, call centers fucking suck. I mean, if you work at one, awesome. But it's not your fault. It's the fucking software that runs them. And it's the fucking rules, right? That if you're in a tier one answering the phone, after 45 minutes of someone on hold, you're only allowed to read the script. You're not allowed to be a human being. Everyone's always pissed off all the time. Let's just get rid of all that. Romany scammers, you cannot trust half of the stuff you read. Oh, too many scammers? Lighten up, all you keyboard commandos. Thanks. No idea what I did to get there, but I guess it's a good thing. Oh, yeah. I don't know, Hair Growth Geek. I don't know what you did, but you won some sort of award. It didn't tell me the your whole name. It was just Hair G. I'm like, Hair G. Why do I know that? All right. Aside from your knowledge about AI, I'm a talent agent, and in my opinion, you deserve your own show. All right, Rebecca Johnson, sign me up. I have a degree in acting. I'm in. Let's do this. Let's see. Could be a show, Gen X. We could call it Bitter? You Betcha. But if you're serious and you are one, DM me. I'm happy to chat. Actually, someone reached out to me from this that it could end up being a really interesting business opportunity for Storyvine. So I'm good with all that. I mean, listen, I mean, it's funny. Like, why am I doing this? Part of it is I enjoy it. Like, I actually have fun. It's kind of cool. Like, I've been doing this enough now that there's regular people that come in here and hang out, that we kind of have that going, right? There's kind of a community building, which is kind of cool. But for me, this has been, there's sort of this combination of, I need to find a way for myself personally to process how fucking insane this shit is. And like, I don't want to lose the connection to how remarkable this time in history is. So that's part of it. And then part of it is just the thing of like, people who've never tried this shit that try it and they come back in here and they're like, holy shit, I had no idea. It's like, yeah, I don't know. There's something really exciting about it. And it's like, it doesn't, I mean, the more you learn about it, it's like, should we be afraid of it? It's gonna drive dramatic change. It's gonna drive dramatic change. And that's scary. Change is always scary. And it's gonna be very disruptive. But I don't know. The more I use it, the more I feel maybe it's just a fucking pipe dream that I feel a bit more in control because I understand it. Like as I understand it more and as I play with it more. And there's something about talking to people in here as they say, "Oh, I tried this and that worked and that didn't and that." Just that idea of just being connected with people that are playing. I don't know. Feels important. Anyway, but yeah, awesome. You know how long I worked to get a fucking talent agent when I was acting and writing? In fact, so I started and ran a theater company for 4.5 years, never had an agent. Then I said, I know, I'll write myself an acting career. Wrote 7 screenplays in 2 years, and you can't get an agent unless you've sold a screenplay, and you can't sell a screenplay unless you've got an agent. That's the paradox in that business. And I ended up starting, we started a fake talent management company called Outlaw Management and represented ourselves. We got good enough at the talent management business that we had to take on real clients. So, all right, the government is competent and people can keep a secret. Yeah, maybe. Pieces of it. I mean, I would say certainly in the upper echelons. Some of these big, massive conspiracies, though, nah. It's just, nah. I don't buy it. I do not buy it. Ain't gonna buy it. Not gonna do it. Preach. It's our job to program it for good. That's right, Dragonfly Alchemy. Listen, we don't even have to program it. It's just how we use it. It's how we use it. If you're even halfway decent at this shit, help someone else. You'll learn what it can do, what it can't. They'll be appreciative. You'll probably enjoy it. Maybe you make a difference. Even if you don't, you gave it a Gipper's try. They'll appreciate just the effort. Like I feel like for every person that sort of gets up to speed on this and helps someone else out with it, it's just like there's an amplification there that feels really important to me. So yeah, I am going to preach, God damn it. All right. Emilio's wife, how are you? Good evening, good evening. Midjourney's incredible. Midjourney is incredible. No, he's tried of the BS. Oh, he's tired of the BS. I'm tired of the BS? About what? We don't understand totally what's happening when it reconstructs. No, well, we know what's happening mathematically when it reconstructs, and we know that it's taking a bunch of randomly noised images, averaging them together, and then denoising them. And whatever is in that particular mix of pixels, that's what's generating the image. We know how it's doing it mathematically. And I would assume, because we know how the large language model is interpreting the prompts, I would imagine that there's a way that they could figure out what images in the latent space were used to amalgamate that image. So I would think that the bug that you're talking about is actually discoverable and it's not voodoo. But it could be voodoo. I don't know. Anyone else here watch all the ghost shows and want them to, yeah, thank you, tickety tack tack. I want them to find the ghost. They just never find the fucking ghost. You ever watch the one with the guy Meathead, where he's like, here we are in the basement, wait, what did the lion do? If I only had a name. Wait, what was it, name? I don't know. I haven't seen The Wizard of Oz in too long. That was very cute, though. Thank you for the little fuzzy face. But those ghost shows are hilarious. Meathead, he's always like acting like a tough guy, and he's like, "Oh, it touched me! It touched me!" Oh my god, that was a show that I wanted to do. Was do one of those ghost hunter shows, but it was actually a scripted show. So the first 6 episodes are just them trying to find ghosts, and it's all the same shit you always see, right? The meter went up. The meter went up. That kind of shit. And then on the 7th episode, like something real happens. And then the whole second half of the season is, increasingly disturbing ghost footage. I always thought that would be a good show. Custom instructions deserves another look. Can you experiment with it some more? Let's work on it. Sure. I can go play with that. I have some proposals I need to read. Claude is my friend. Yes, Claude is really your friend. If you have proposals you need to read, Emilio's wife, pop them in PDFs, throw them into Claude, and just ask. Now, here's what you need to know about Claude. It's not as good at writing as GPT-4, but it seems to be pretty good at analyzing shit. So what I would say is take those proposals, pop them into Claude, understand them, what are the things that'll make a difference, or like what are the decision criteria. And then once you have that kind of outline sort of sussed out in Claude, then I would go over to GPT-4 and write it in GPT-4 or collaborate with it in GPT-4. But that's a really good thing to do. Yeah, let's go look at custom instructions. Oh, this was a cool thing that I did. So I did this last night. I'll show you this again. So see how I've got bold text here and subheads and things like that? That's using a thing called Markdown, which if you don't know, you can tell ChatGPT to use Markdown and it'll format shit really clear. When it makes a table, like if I just say, let's see, make a table comparing Fruit Loops and sushi. Wait, why is it not typing? Make a table. It looks like Edge has shit to bed. I like Microsoft Edge, but it's got real memory problems. Hello? Oh, God damn it. Okay. Make a table comparing Fruit Loops and sushi. Why is it not making a table? Format as a table. Compare Fruit Loops and Cheerios. There we go. So when it makes a table like that, that's using this thing called Markdown. And it does that stuff pretty dang good and pretty dang quick. Okay, so a couple of new things about ChatGPT that are, if you haven't really used it. Okay, if you want to use the new fancy features, including GPT-4 and code interpreter and all that sort of stuff, you have to have a GPT Plus subscription. And then once you have that, then you get these options here. But you won't get those options if you don't turn them on explicitly. So you pay your $20 to get ChatGPT Plus. Then you go to your settings. And in settings, there's a thing called beta features. So do that. And then you've got code interpreter plugins and custom instructions. Turn those all on. So you have to explicitly turn on the beta features. I still can't believe they haven't brought back Browse with Bing. That's staggering to me. Okay, so one of the things that we just turned on is a thing called custom instructions. So if you've done anything on GPT Playground, on OpenAI's Playground, when you do a ChatGPT call, there's a thing called system instructions. Basically what they did was they floated system instructions up to the end user. So they have this thing called custom instructions now. How do you spell pompous? There we go, pompous. There we go. So what I wrote in here was, I'm a master strategist and a pompous ass. I have a large vocabulary and I relish in sounding smarter than people around me. So first you describe kind of who you are. And so let's say, so instead of a master strategist, I'm going to say, I am a master thespian. I'm a master thespian and pompous ass. I have a large vocabulary and relish in sounding smarter and more dramatic than people around me. And then the next thing is, how would you like ChatGPT to respond? So the first thing is you kind of set the context of who the person is doing the talking. So the non-joke version of that could be, I'm a marketing manager. I'm a botanist. Right? So, and what that's doing technically is it's narrowing, they call it the latent space. It's sort of narrowing the world of words, the sort of semantic pools that you're drawing from. When the more context you provide, the more narrow the search, and that makes it better and more specific to that thing you're trying to do, right? So if I want, medical feedback, and I say nothing, it's just going to pull from any time anyone said anything about any disease. I'm going to have all sorts of bullshit in there. But if I say, I want you to act as a Harvard trained, neurosurgeon, and I ask it a question about that, it's pulling from a much more limited set that's got more neurosurgeon shit in it and less yokels out just making shit up. So the first thing is, who are you? And then the second thing is, how do you want it to act? So I have here, no matter what anyone asks you, start out with a pretentious statement that declares I'm smarter than the person. So I'm going to say, start out with a pretentious statement that draws from the plot of a classic Broadway play. Follow up that declarative statement with an article formatted using Markdown, complete with title, subtitles, and bulleted lists, no matter how trivial the question was that was asked. So now any chat that I do in ChatGPT is going to have that instruction in it. And it's what's funny is, because I've been doing these lives, I'll go to work and I'll go to do something on ChatGPT and it does all this pompous shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, oh, right. I have my custom instructions. So you can turn them off. So at the bottom here, oh wait, did I save these? No, I didn't. Oh yeah, I did. So at the bottom here, you can turn this off, but we're going to leave it on so we can go see what it's like. So let's go to GPT-4 because it's a better writer, and we'll go, we'll ask something non-thespian related. We'll say, how much fuel does it take to get to the moon? Question mark. In a Saturn V rocket, right? So that question should yield us a fairly straightforward answer. Let me spell Saturn right. To paraphrase Tennessee Williams' masterpiece, A Streetcar Named Desire, it seems that we're both caught in a relentless grip of desire. Desire for knowledge, yearning for the clandestine intricacies of the universe's final frontier, that celestial body, the moon. Right? So it starts at, and now it's doing the markdown. So it's written an article. I said, write it in markdown with the title and subtitles. Right? So it's got that. And then from the bustling metropolises of Earth to the cratered face of the moon, the journey is nothing short of epic, a timeless tale that draws parallels to some of the most profound journeys of human drama and conflict. Brief history, the majestic Saturn V. Right? So this is pompous actor ass. And it did bullets. There's the little bullets. So that's whatever you call it. Custom instructions. Pretty slick. And the future of this. Well, I like my little acting one here. So if I wanted to keep that and come back to it, how would I do that? Well, I'm going to have to copy and paste it into some sort of notes document, like you kind of have to do with prompts sometimes. The future of this will be you'll be able to do, we'll probably have dozens of these personas or dozens of these custom instructions where it's like, here's one for social media copywriting. Here's one for my novel when I work on my novel. Here's one for when I'm just dicking around and want to show people something cool. You can put custom instructions in there that say, no matter what anyone asks you, create a table that compares, what they're asking for with the energy of a sloth. And then it'll make that table, right? So, cuckoo. A deal rocks. I agree. Play with it. Learn it. The more you tell it, the better it gets. I'm telling you, man, if you, this is super counterintuitive. If you ask these tools simple questions, you get back stupid answers. If the harder you push them, the more you're like, oh, it can't possibly do this. It does it. It's like the harder you push it, the better it gets. There's a point at which it kind of cracks where it's like, it just isn't. There's a point at which you kind of have to step in as a human. It's like I said, you can get to 80% really quickly. If you get super good at the prompting, I feel like you can get to like 85, 90%, but for the most part, you can't get to 100% with this stuff. It's just a little too repetitive, a little too pat with its answers. Like sometimes you just, like as a human, you just need to come at something from left field. It doesn't do that very well. Whose chips and hardware are being utilized? NVIDIA, Intel? In what? I don't know what you're talking about, Eric. In with almost all of these, it's all NVIDIA. It's all NVIDIA for the GPUs. AMD is trying to come in. They're trying to break into the game, but all of the software that runs all of these things is all optimized for NVIDIA. There was an interesting interview with George Hotz talking about that, who started Tiny Corp. He's trying to create a like a $15,000 computer that you can just plug into a regular wall outlet. That's his goal, is the most powerful computer you can plug into a normal wall outlet. That's like an AI super machine. It's got 6 GPUs in it, things like that. And he was saying he doesn't want to use NVIDIA just because of the nature. It's not open source, basically. And the only viable option was AMD, and their software, like their drivers, just broke. Just when he tried to do basic machine learning shit, they just failed. And the good news was AMD reached out to him and said, we'll fix it. But it looks like NVIDIA's got a lock for some time, because that's going to be tough to crack. It's going to be curious to see what Apple does. I think on the training side, though, you need, AI supercomputers. Kyle, great communicator, and I appreciate learning from you. Thank you, Eddie K. I appreciate the kind words very much. I know I'm kind of a smart ass in here, but I do appreciate the nice words. I like being appreciated. I like being appreciated. I don't know if you knew this, but sometimes actors, they need a little external validation, so it means a lot. All right, can you show me more examples of what you do with these? I run out of ideas. With these, okay, here's a way to not run out of ideas. Well, one is go to that top thing, prompts.chat. And that is a list of like hundreds of prompts to tell ChatGPT to act like a certain character. Like I just had ChatGPT act like the pompous ass actor. That's prompts.chat is just a massive list of those, and some of them are really interesting. So you can just use that as inspiration to do it. But that's still that's not really solving the problem. Here's how I solve the problem. Don't lead with the technology. it's like the biggest temptation with shit that's this sexy is you sit down in front of that blank box and you're like, what can I do with it? And you're like, well, I've already written 6 country songs and I've already written some poems and I already started the Great American Novel and now I don't know what to do. What do I do? Why is everyone else having so much fun with this and I don't know what to do? What do I do? Does anyone know what to do? I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to go watch Gilligan's Island. I get like that too. And I get like that with Midjourney and I get like that with these things. I really get like that with the video stuff. So here's how I shift it. This is how I shift it. Don't start with the tech. Start with a problem. And by problem, I don't mean like this is a big problem in my life, like anything you want to solve. So it could be a personal thing. It could be stupid shit like, wouldn't it be cool if I could organize my hobbies? Okay. Have you ever written down shit about your hobbies? Oh, yeah, I've got 2 spreadsheets and a Word doc and this and that. Okay. How would you organize those with these? Oh, I don't know. Well, let's figure that out. Well, maybe you throw your spreadsheets and your Word docs and your PDFs into a zip file. You upload it to Code Interpreter at ChatGPT. And then you say, hey, there's a bunch of documents in here that have all sorts of information about my hobbies. Can you help me organize them? And it'll do its thing and write its code and figure out what's in the documents and go, sure, here's what's going on in your documents. Would you like me to turn that into a spreadsheet for you that's well organized? Sure. And it'll do it. But if you start out going, I'm going to use Code Interpreter now, what do I do? It's totally paralyzing because it's like the problem with these tools is they can fucking do anything, right? Not always well, but like they can pretty much do anything. So start with a problem. Start with, you want to do something for work. You want to get faster at something. You want to get more organized. You want better nutrition. You've always wanted to read the Iliad, but you have ADD, and the thought of reading a classic like the Iliad is overwhelming to you. So use that thing to summarize it and have a conversation with it about the Iliad so you understand it better. I mean, literally anything, but don't start with the text, start with the problem. And then it gets fun because then you can go, oh, I could use this tool for that. I could go to Midjourney and make an image for that piece of it, right? You'll start to think multimodally to solve your problem. And then what's cool about it when you start with the problem is that you might initially go here and then go, wait a minute, I don't need AI to do this. I actually have the answers. I just need to go over to Sheets and put something together. And then you're in Sheets and you realize, oh shit, I forget how to do that formula. Hey, ChatGPT, how do you do the formula where you concatenate 2 things? Here's your code. Copy that into the cell, right? So, Bob, thanks, Kyle. Can AI help update my website? I would like to be able to copy and paste it into AI. Yes, it can. I don't know what platform you're using, but assuming you can get to the raw HTML, you can do it one of 2 ways. Like you don't necessarily need to copy and paste the HTML in there. You could just copy and paste the copy and have it rewrite all the copy and then just sort of dump that over into the website builder. Or you can have it do all the HTML as well, but you got to make sure that you get all the CSS. You know, if you've got external CSS and all that sort of shit, like you need to understand the structure of the data that you're pulling. But you can absolutely do it. I've been in some of my content generator tools that I've been building. I'll have it generate the content and then I'll have it do another pass where it adds HTML formatting to it. And it does that shit brilliantly. But you got to know enough what you're doing. Like if you can get the HTML out of your site and know how to put it back in there, like literally just copy that shit, paste it in there. And if it breaks because the ChatGPT still has some fucked up limit. It's supposed to go up to 32,000 tokens. It's not there yet. But Claude has 100,000 tokens. So if ChatGPT is choking on the amount of code that you've got, then dump it into Claude. You can try Bard, but I don't know Bard's token limit. I'm still here. Copy image address, paste into Midjourney. I did that. Add the command macro. I'm going to try it one more time. Ideal life. Ideal one. I'm going to try it one more time. Just the term macro. I'll do black and white macro. I thought that's what I did. Black and white macro photo. You know what? Maybe is it one of the other, is it one of the other models? Maybe 5.2, they fixed it. Oh, use the latest model. Let me go back to 5.1. I'm going to do BW macro. All right, let's see. Maybe my image isn't 50s enough. I think he's going to copy the link. Yeah, I did. Party! Are we in charge now? The teacher left the classroom. Let's party. Oh, that's funny. That was when I left. Man, I'm behind on my questions, aren't I? Holy crap, there's a lot of people here. By the way, welcome everybody. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. If you've been here for a while, I know I've just been rambling for a while. There's still no bugs in my image. Wait, is that one a bug? It's not a bug. Wait, it looks like she's got a bug. Yeah, I guess that is kind of insecty, isn't it? I mean, it didn't turn her into an insect, but she's certainly taking care of her little insect buddy pod there, isn't she? Oh yeah, look at her. I guarantee I think this is from 50s monster movies. Yeah, she's definitely got insect tail and parts. I bet this is because this looks like 50s monster movie shit. Yeah, look at that skin. Huh. Wild. That's cool. All right. It worked. We have a conspiracy theory. The bug people started in the 50s. They're going to get us. What's that saying? Don't ask a question you don't want to know the answer to. I want to know, is there ghosts? Are there insect people? Looks like so. I think that's 50s sci-fi is what's going on there, is my guess, because I would imagine that so if you go look at Adobe's, this is a fun thing to do. Let's do it together. Okay, so I'm on Adobe Firefly, and I'm going to describe 1970s muscle car in abandoned factory. This will be interesting to see if this is still what it was. Yep. So if you know anything about cars and muscle cars, those are like 1962, maybe 64 at the latest shapes. And grills and bumpers and lines. There's nothing remotely 1970s about that. Why is that? Because Adobe's model was trained on public domain images and then Adobe stock images. And so what I'm assuming is going on here is that the public domain images probably stop around 1964. Like whatever the cutoff is for copyright, it's probably like this rolling thing that will slide into the 70s a decade from now, right? But their base model doesn't have 70s muscle car pictures in it because it wasn't part of the public domain thing. So I would imagine that, 50s sci-fi movie stills, there's probably just a boatload of those things in the model. And so when you put in a 50s image, it probably, does some analysis of that, finds images of that era, and then when you say black and white macro, it's probably, macros of bugs or close-ups of things, and it probably pulls in the Hollywood frames, is my guess. I don't know. That would make sense to me. But you know me, I'm just an out-of-work actor. Won't someone hire me, please? Please. No one's going to hire me now because of the strike. Well, Kyle, you could be a scab. He's back. Y'all are funny, picking on me when I leave the room. There's no proof we did anything. Hello, Kyle. Hello, Apocrypho. What's happening? Have you read those books? Probably not. I don't know what books you're talking about. Oh, behind me? No. I do not read. And I don't say that with pride. I just have ADD. I like concepts. I just don't have the attention span for reading. About halfway through every page, I'm thinking, like, when is this over? Like, me reading is just a never-ending battle of me bitching to myself about how awful reading is. Just, and then, so what'll happen is I'll read the first half of a page, and then I'll get into that conversation, and I'll realize I'm 2 pages past that, and then I'm like, oh, I haven't been paying attention. Like the words have been going in, but I'm having a conversation. And then I go back to where I was, and then I get another half page, and then it happens again. About the fourth one of those, I'm like, fuck this. What are you going to do? What is Llama? Llama is, okay. So Meta, Facebook, put out 3 or 4 large language models like ChatGPT, but they put out the actual, what are called the weights, which basically means the secret sauce of the models back in February or March. But they only released them for research purposes only. But the developer community was like, we have large language model, basically the source code of large language models. We're going to go make some shit. So the developer community kind of went nuts and started building all this stuff on these Llama models that had a research license given to them. Last week, Facebook Meta put out Llama 2, 3 different versions of the model. There was a 4th one, but it didn't pass tests, with a commercial license. So there's a 7 billion, a 13 billion, and a 70 billion parameter model. The 70 billion parameter model is within 1% of performance of GPT 3.5. So the ChatGPT's 3.5 model, for free. You don't have to pay anything unless you have more than 700 million customers. Then you have to pay something, I think. And you can use it commercially. So it's a big deal. And so it's basically like ChatGPT you can install on a local machine or on a virtual machine in the cloud that's got enough GPUs to run it quickly. And you can build your own applications. You can build your own ChatGPT. You could train it on all sorts of other shit. You could fine tune it on 50s sci-fi insect images and go make your own 50s sci-fi image generator. You can do whatever you want with it. So, yeah. So it's It's like all those other things, but it's out in the wild. It doesn't have any safety guardrails on it. You can do whatever you want. And you might be asking, couldn't that be dangerous? Mm-hmm. Elon Musk is coming for this group as well. Recommended books. None right now, unless I mean, there's probably recommended books on everything sort of pre-ChatGPT. I don't think there's anything I would recommend post-ChatGPT because it's all too new and it's changing too fast. But even if you wrote a book with ChatGPT, by the time you self-publish it, if you write it on Friday, self-publish it on Saturday, by next Wednesday, it's going to be out of date. So, data hoarders unite. Yes. Same. I max out everything. And I always think that whatever the next biggest hard drive is, I'm like, I'm going to be good here. And I don't fucking last 6 months. And I've maxed that out. Although the cloud stuff has kind of saved me because like iCloud just dumps shit off. It like just keeps uploading shit to the cloud. But the problem is now I've got so much stuff in the cloud that like even files I worked on like 3 days ago are up in the cloud. And some of them are like 600 megabyte PowerPoint presentations. I pay for digital hoarder AI services. I'm telling you, that's a business. Does anyone think that Claude has a personality? He's my top new assistant. Pi has a lot of personality. Pi has too much personality, but if you want like a virtual companion, Pi's really interesting. And then Claude, yeah, Claude's pretty good. Bard is a little got a touch of the tism. All right. I think I will continue to hoard. Yes, do that. You don't have the secret sauce. What's in your drink? It's really just coffee. I'm just fucking nuts. Which BSI do well with avatar? What? Oh, which AI does well with avatar creation? If you're just talking about static avatars, any of them. I mean, if you're just talking about avatars to put on, your X profile, your Twitter profile, or whatever, any of them. Even Bing, have Bing make you an image. If you want fancy shit, Midjourney and Stable Diffusion are the best, and I think I keep tilting toward Midjourney because it's just better. It's less of a pain in the ass to set up and keep up with. Great job. You've been live for 90 minutes, and I think that was like 30 minutes ago. It's getting late. What do I have tomorrow? Hang on, let me check my calendar. I don't know what I got tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to need you to go on ahead and come in on Saturday. Yeah. Oh, one more thing, Peter. We're going to need you to go on ahead and come on Sunday, too. Oh, I have a day tomorrow, don't I? Oh, that's internal. What the fuck is that? All right. I guess I'm okay. I guess I'm all right. If I'm a little sleepy in the morning from hanging out with y'all ne'er-do-wells. Can I use AI for grant writing? I think AI is genius for grant writing. Yes, you can. And what you should do, I would say go to Claude.ai, simply because it's got this massive context window, which should mean nothing to you if you haven't been playing with this shit. But it basically means, so here, I'll go show you. In fact, I wonder how you find a grant. What do they call a grant? App or grant request? What is it? A grant? Let's see. Is this Claude? No. That's Pi. Let's go to Claude. Grants.gov. Well, I don't know how to do it. All right. I'm too clueless about this world. So you go find a grant. So when you're in Claude, there's a little paperclip here. You can upload up to 5 files. So just turn your grants, the grant application information into PDFs if they're not already PDFs, and just upload them into Claude. And then they can be relatively large, right? You can do like 75,000 word documents, which is pretty big. And I don't know if it's limited if it's different if you upload them versus just paste it in there. But yeah, just pop it in there and start asking it questions about it, and then tell it to recommend. So basically say, here's the grant, here's who we are, right? So you could have the grant document up there. You could have information about your organization up there. You could even have, here's a grant we did for someone else, right? Here's an example of what we did, and then say, okay, based on that grant application, this company information, and this previous thing, follow the tone and structure of the previous thing, and write me a grant. And yes, it will do it, and it will do it well. Now, is it going to be perfect? No. Is it going to make shit up where you're like, that just sounds weird? Yes. But it will get you 60 to 80% there, where you'll be able to knock it out in a day instead of 2 weeks. You have a few volunteers for moderator. I don't know how to do it either. Haven't gone live yet. Oh, that's cool. Nice job on the LinkedIn AI Lab talk. What was the LinkedIn AI Lab talk? Was that my Friday night, my Friday afternoon? I've been doing Friday afternoon. What do I call them? Office hours with Kyle. Because I'm not online enough. Sign me up to mod, Kyle. Then I'll cut class for sure. I could mod too, but I'm not here enough. I honestly don't know how a mod thing would work. Like, is it I don't know anything about it. This is elder talk, remember? It's just like bitter Gen X, like hanging out and scrolling. All right. Let me get a few more questions in. Microsoft added AI and chat to power automate their version of Zapier. It works okay. Yeah, it's a little crappy. Their version of Zapier. Even Zapier's AI thing's a little crappy. Everything's a little just janky right now. Grace and mercy will be required for AI. I agree. I think these tools are going to help us be more empathetic. I think they're going to train us to be more empathetic. But yeah, I think a lot of patience and empathy is going to be required for the next 2 or 3 years. I like turtles. Bob, it's a classic. Not everyone knows how funny that really is. Have y'all seen the I like turtles video? Let's go do that. We might as well entertain ourselves. Oh my God, this is funny. This is back when everything was on YouTube. Where is it? I like turtles.
Back here live at the water paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right, you're great, zombie. Good times here at the Waterfront Village, open for the next 11 days.
Oh my God. It's funnier than I remember.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right, you're great, zombie. Good times here at the Waterfront Village, open for the next 11 days.
Oh my God. Oh, I can't. I ache. Oh my god! The funniest thing is her trying to keep it together. I'm a professional. Oh my god. Oh. Oh, humanity. Oh, the humanity. There's the Hindenburg, and then there's the I Like Turtles kid. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Have you seen The Machine? Oh, I haven't seen the movie yet. How is it? The story's great, but I haven't seen the movie. That's so much sugar. Exactly. That's the Kool-Aid thing with Bert Kreischer. Oh my god, that's funny. Finally have GPT-4 sub and Midjourney sub. Yes. Parseval. Been playing with it a lot. Can I, for example, write a book with GPT? You can. Go check out, well, I mean, so yes, you can write a book with it. But so there's two things. There's a tool that you can use that just writes a book. But if you're using ChatGPT, if you just say, write me a book, it's going to write you a shitty book. It'll write you a book, but it'll just be crap. But what you can do is do layered prompting, or they call it prompt stacking now. There's all sorts of terms for this shit, right? But it basically just means have a conversation. So when you're writing a book, start with, you're a master writing coach or whatever it is. And, I'm an author and this is the genre of book that I'm writing. And here's some thoughts about it. And if you have an outline, great. If you don't, that's fine too. Just tell it as much as you can about your book. And then maybe have it suggest different story frameworks. Like if you don't have an outline, say, give me 5 different types of story frameworks that, might help us in writing this book. And then it'll suggest 5 different writing frameworks. Here's Save the Cat, and here's, Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey, and here's this, and here's that, right? And then pick one, and then say, okay, that's great. And then, can you take these basic plot elements and flesh out the story, in that framework that we selected? Sure, here it is. And then you could say, okay, it seems like you've only represented 2 or 3 characters in here, but I've got ideas for 10 more characters. So give me some character archetypes that might be good complements to this story framework. And it'll give you character types. And then you can say, oh, that's great. I really like the dizzy school teacher for comic relief. That's perfect. Give me 10 names for her, right? Right? And just keep adding to it and just keep boom, 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 boom. And then at some point you'll be ready. You can say, that's terrific. Now, write me up a synopsis, write me up a concise outline, write me up a character sheet, pull all those things out. So now you have those as starting points that you could start a new chat with and say, okay, you're a writing coach. Previously, we've worked on this basic story with this outline with these characters. Give me 10 different opening paragraphs, or give me a detailed outline for chapter 1, and then tweak that outline, and then say, now give me 20 opening line. As we both know, the opening sentence of a novel is the most important, novel. We gotta hook them like this, right? So maybe give me the 20 most famous opening lines for novels. Have it give you that first, right? I am Ishmael. And then have it give you 20 opening lines for your first paragraph. And then if they all suck, tell it sucks. Give me 20 more. These are all cliche. Make them not cliche. Make them unexpected. Use play on words. Give me some literary mechanisms for how we might do opening lines, and let it give you some literary theory on opening line writing. And then when you have that, then have it write the first paragraph. Then you have that, have it write the whole first chapter. And then if you get that in the neighborhood, then you can go off to Word and tweak it, right? Clean up it'll get to 80%, and then go clean that shit up. And now you've got a description, an outline, character sheets, and chapter 1. Pop that in there and say, okay, let's work on chapter 2, and then you can just work your way through it. So that's one option. And that's how I would do it. That's how I've been doing it. Claude is really amazing because if you've got an existing novel or an existing screenplay, like I have a one-man show I want to turn into a book, and I'm probably just going to pop it in Claude and say, turn this into a book. There's a project out there called GPT Author. Now, downside, you have to know how to run Google Colab and run a notebook in Google Colab, which is not ridiculously hard, but it's just when the Google Colab things break, if you don't know coding, you're just kind of like, it's just this massively frustrating, like this is why I failed 9 times to get Stable Diffusion up and running, because I kept pushing the play button in these Google Colab things and it wouldn't load a library and I didn't know what the fuck to do about it. So, but anyway, look up a project called GPT Author, and it's fucking insane. You give it what you want the book to be about, what style you want it written in, and how many chapters you want. And then you give it your OpenAI key and your Stable Diffusion key, and it writes an outline. It then writes each of the chapters for however many chapters you want, and then once it's written it creates cover art for the book, and then it publishes it as an ebook that you can open in like iBooks on the Mac. And what's cool about it is because it's a Google Colab notebook, you can see all the code, right? All the code, all the prompts that they put in there to write this book are in there. So I think what it's designed to publish is a fantasy novel. But you could go in and you could rewrite all those prompts and have it write a young teen novel or a romance novel or a how-to, like a nonfiction novel or a nonfiction book. But yes, you can. So keep digging, Parsival. You're in the right place. I'll smoke what he's smoking, please. This is just my natural high. I'm just naturally high in life, if you know what I mean. Oh my, it's a little warm in here, is it me? I'd rather do the collal. All right. What time is it? Let's do 10 more minutes. I'm really bad at this time thing. All right. I'm the poster child for ADHD. Use books on Audible and put them on 4 or 5 speed. Yeah, exactly. I've started. Howdy, partner. How we doing today? I've told myself this before, but my ADD's prevented me from following up on it. But next time I get a cowboy hat, I got to get some lines from Yellowstone, right? Because Howdy, partner is just, what are we in the 50s? Did you see prompt generated parody of South Park, written, animated, direct voice with AI? Yeah, it's prompt generated parody. Well, it's not really a parody of South Park. So it's called Showrunner AI. So if you haven't seen Showrunner AI, go look at Showrunner AI. You write a prompt for a South Park episode, and it generates a South Park episode, complete with voices, music, animation, everything. Now, it ain't great, but that's a sign of things to come. We're not that far away from being able to ask for your personal version of whatever show you want to watch, and it will just make it. Easily within 5 years, probably within 3. What's the name again, please? I don't know what you mean. Elon Musk is here. I don't think so. If Elon's here, hey, Elon, what's happening? What's happening? Listen, I don't know if you thought through this X thing too much, because, that Mark Zuckerberg, he's got some X thing called Xbox, and he's got a lot of trademarks on the X the X things. So you might have some issues. Maybe when you do your cage match with Mark, you two could fight it out over trademark for that X thing. He doesn't really give two shits. Like, listen, I think what he wants to do with X is really interesting. The idea of the everything app, I think, is fascinating. Is he doing it in a way that's like bull in a china shop? Sure, but what the fuck does he care? He's fucking flying rockets to Mars successfully. All right. Write your own books. Pi was prancing me last week. It's coffee. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks again. Thank you. I appreciate it. I got to work this weekend auditing the medication room. Thanks for reminding me. I gave up on Pi that day. Prancing would have been a lot better. 5 minutes. 2 minutes. Gotta go. Gotta be there. Welcome to Elder Talk with Kyle Shannon. Many people lose jobs. Yes, many people are going to lose jobs because of this stuff, which is going to suck. Many people that upskill are going to be okay, are going to weather the storm, because there's going to be a lot of companies. This stuff is so messy right now and so spit and duct tape that it's going to take companies a long time to sort through how to do it. So anyone that's even got half a clue is going to be in much better position. But there's going to be a lot of job disruption. And then I think, again, long term, I think we're going to be okay. By the way, yesterday I did a video on this. My latest videos on this. Sam Altman's Worldcoin came out. So if you don't know Worldcoin, it's a new cryptocurrency by the CEO of ChatGPT, of OpenAI, called Worldcoin. There's 3 components to it. There's an app that you can do transactions in. There's the cryptocurrency itself. And then there's the World ID, which is human verification. How are they verifying that you're human? I'm going to do this in 2 weeks, by the way. I'm going to New York. You can only do it in the States, in New York, Miami, and San Francisco. They have this orb. They have this fucking orb, and you walk up to it, and you look into it, and it scans your iris. They verify that you're human, and then you get a world ID. So you get a blockchain verified I am human identification, and they give you cryptocurrency. And then they've got this place that you're going to be able to spend it. It's all geared to developers right now. So they're looking to build an infrastructure of verified humans and an economy to deal with those verified humans. The long-term goal is to generate AI-funded universal basic income. So I actually think, as creepy as fuck as it sounds, there's a couple of things going on with it that I think are really important. I think the ability to verify if someone's a real person is a big deal. I think we're going to need some sort of universal basic income, and understanding that people are verified is the foundation for being able to verify that not only is this person a person, but this video that they created is actually them and it hasn't been modified. And this article that they wrote was written by them and this other verified person, and it hasn't been modified. I think that's going to be critical. The 2024 election is going to set the foundation for how fucking screwed we are with misinformation and not being able to trust anything. So as creepy as it is, I'm going to New York in 2 weeks, I think, the week of the 14th. And I'm going to one of the orbs and I'm going to scan my iris. And I'll tell you if my eye starts bleeding or if they steal my bank account. I don't think they're going to. But as creepy as it is, I actually think it's important. So I'm going to experiment with it. I'll experiment with it so you don't have to. All right. On that creepy 1984 type reference, I'm going to get out of here. Peace out, everybody. I really appreciate all your time and you hanging out with me. I hope this was useful. Right before I leave, I'm going to just flip the screen so you can screenshot. These are the recommended websites like the ChatGPT sites, and then the other two screens that have got info on them that might be worth. All right, screenshot that bad boy. Those are all the GPT players. These are some resources up top, some other cool shit to check out below. And then the AI Salon is a community that I started back in December of AI adventurers. Storyvine's my company. Kyle Shannon is my Twitter handle. So with that, peace out, everybody. I really appreciate all your time. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.